Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 10 Count Podcast. Starring myself, Kyle Crosby, alongside my broadcast colleague, Michael Malley, a.k.a. Maggle.
Pleasure to be back.
And we are coming to you from our Channel D Production studios here in Santa Monica, California. I would like to start the show off by saying I am thrilled that we have the greatest man to ever live, Austin Aries, on the main roster in the Cruiserweight division, going against Neville at WrestleMania for the Cruiserweight title. It is just I'll say it's a dream match for me. Just to see Austin Aries and someone like Neville go at it, goodness gracious, this will be outstanding.
I could not wait to see Austin Aries make his debut. And then when he started doing commentating, it reminded me of Jesse the Body Ventura revisited, man. He was this personification of just cool and how cool and collected he is. And then when we saw him on Raw, he was there. He was all there 100%. This is going to be a really cool match. This is going to be awesome.
The match itself is going to be great, but as far as keeping us entertained on the microphone, Austin Aries got it covered because Neville isn't really that advanced on the mic. You know that.
Sure.
Someone who is, though, Samoa Joe.
It's going to be interesting to see.
Who do you think Joe is going to face at WrestleMania?
That's a good question. I honestly don't have an answer to that. That's really tough because right now it seems as though the only legitimate threat or the only legitimate opponent that I feel Joe can be put into is either the Andre the Giant Memorial,
which is like a match that you have no idea who this person is going to face WrestleMania, so you put him in. Right. So, and there's a shitload of people already in there. That's going to be in there.
And the only other, except for that, the only other match that I could see him in is a match with Braun Strowman.
That would be amazing, having those two huge motherfuckers go at it and pew! What? Now, Joe's stablemate, we should call him, Kevin Owens, who, I think, despite losing the title, Kevin Owens' momentum is still headstrong, in my opinion. He's going for the United States title, and after this, Jericho's going to be leaving. Kevin Owens' match against Sami Zayn this past week on Raw almost made me give him the Raw Superstar of the Week.
This is the really cool thing about Owens, is that he can do so many different things. He can play this humorous character, and then from the switch of the dime, he can go straight into this carnal, just rage beast mode like Joe.
He was breathing heavy.
I literally saw the same character I saw when he made his debut in NXT and destroyed Zayn. That is what we need to see.
That's when he was angry and showing that the ferocious side of him, breathing heavy. I love that front flip leg drop.
Kevin is the epitome of what every superstar should be. For his size, for his mic skills, he has it all. He has all of the gifts. It's just what they can do with him.
Speaking of Fastlane, the tag team titles were defended successfully. Again, Enzo and Cass cannot grab gold. They didn't do it in NXT. Are they going to do it in WWE main roster now? What's going to happen? Are they going to get it at WrestleMania, have their WrestleMania moment? Or, I think the club should hold on to them because it's playing hot potato right now with the tag titles. And you play hot potato too much and it loses value.
The sad thing about Enzo and Cass is their style and their characters, they're made to be tag team champions.
I'm 100% for them winning the tag team titles, absolutely.
And that's where the tough part hits, is because you got the club who's this was a kind of a long time coming for them to get these belts and to keep it on them. And once they do, now you have contenders we're finally getting competition that's adequate, and they're doing him justice.
Which means that we're going to see Cesaro and Sheamus thrown into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
I'm glad, because I want to see them in singles competition, because that's how it's supposed to be. Cesaro is supposed to be a world champion by now.
Oh, absolutely.
That is a truth.
I mean, that's the biggest understatement I think I've heard all fucking day. I just don't see them having a match at WrestleMania, Cesaro versus Sheamus, because they'll add another, it'll be 9 hours total.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Goldberg was confronted by Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman on Raw. And I think that segment went very well. It showed that Goldberg can actually be hurt, and besides that little turnbuckle tackle that Brock Lesnar did for him, and the door that he headbutted. Those were the only two things that Goldberg had signs of being hurt. So I'm glad that they're going to push Brock Lesnar. I mean, they kind of have to, since they're going to put the title on him. But I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that Lesnar is going to be the champion. I liked it back then, and I like it, now. I think it'll be good for someone new to finally dethrone him and conquer the beast.
And that's what makes it so interesting, is because Goldberg back in the day was, as you know, the WCW's version of what Brock Lesnar is now. He was the destroyer. He didn't put on good matches. He was just a destroyer. And to see this different side, and to see that Brock is finally taking him seriously, I think that Brock has a chance. And I think when he comes out, I think it's going to be they're going to really make sure that WrestleMania 20 is part of just history.
Yeah. I'd rather watch Goldberg versus Lesnar 3 for the title than a Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Oh my God, yeah.
Match. Speaking of Roman Reigns, his match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania, come on. That reaction to Braun Strowman and The Undertaker was way better.
But the thing that really irritates me is that Braun came out there, he called Roman out, you hear Roman's music, then you hear Taker, and they both come face to face, and Braun leaves, coming right off of a defeat. He lost his streak. So now he's off a defeat, and then he runs away from a fight. We're talking about Roman and Taker, but let's step back for a minute and look at Braun for a minute. The momentum that Braun is shifting, he has to do something big, just like Lesnar has to do something big in this match with Goldberg. Braun has to do something big to get his momentum back. You may disagree on the fact that you probably think that Braun can still salvage himself, but this is what we were watching when Rusev went from undefeated to reading Cat in the Hat on WWE.com.
Fucking bullshit!
So he needs something big to happen in order for him to regain that momentum back again. I think that was a mistake. I think that Braun should have faced him. I will give you that. It's going to be interesting to see what Roman and Taker do. I'm not a huge Roman fan, and it's not because he's bad. He's bad in the ring, but he's just not.
He's not entertaining.
He's not
boring.
entertaining, and he's shoved down people's throats. That's the most irritating part. It doesn't matter, like, the character or anything.
He freezes when it comes to the mic. Like,
Yes.
He has the mic to his mouth, and he doesn't know what to say. Whatever's in his head comes out, and it's not entertaining stuff.
I was watching Raw talk after Fastlane, and I was listening to him talk, and all he kept talking about, he started sounding like he was this man with a legendary status about him. And it was irritating because he's not.
Right.
He's so far from it.
It would be like Nunzio trying to talk like,
Talking about how many world championships he's
or
won.
like how many great things he's done in the industry. Like, come on, dude. Roman's lack of talent could really hurt Undertaker. I really hope Undertaker doesn't die for an 8th time. Transitioning to SmackDown, the blue brand of entertainment. Bray Wyatt was nowhere to be seen. He's probably rebuilding his house that his sister was buried underneath. Randy Orton is going to WrestleMania. AJ Styles denied again the world title. What's going to happen? AJ Styles versus Shane?
AJ versus Shane is looking more and more likely. You know what the thing about AJ though is that for like weeks, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but all of the stats that they show on the entrances are all negative on his. Like, it shows his wins and his losses. They don't do that for any other superstar, and I wonder if that's
Randy Orton's little stats, they all had, it was all good. It was 12-time world champion, Royal Rumble winner, and youngest person to ever win the world title. AJ's was, he won it at Backlash and he lost it at the Royal Rumble. Why is, like, the stats guy screwing with AJ? Does he not like him?
Between that and the poster of him being all the way in the back,
yeah,
man, the establishment's against him, man.
John Cena and Supergirl Nikki Bella. I will be the first person to tell you that I am not a Miz fan, but The Miz had me cracking the F up at the commentary booth. I mean, he was saying exactly what I was thinking during the John Cena, Nikki Bella, Carmella, and Ellsworth match.
Maybe they should give Miz the face the facts persona that they're giving Curtis. Okay.
Yeah, maybe so.
I'm digging it, man. I think it's cool. I think they're actually onto something because they're bringing this kayfabe to light with Miz, and it's working so well because he's you're right, he's pointing out everything that we see, everything that is wrong with Cena, that we feel is wrong with Cena, the ones that don't like Cena. He's putting to light, and he's using that to bring a really hearty story.
When Nikki and John looked at each other and they were about to do the 5-knuckle shuffle, it was just so cheesy and ridiculous. Not a fan of that.
Love that mic drop by Maurice, too.
Oh, that was amazing.
It was so cool.
I love that. Maurice is a bad bitch. She was bad. The more and more I'm watching this Miz Cena thing, I guess it's my hate for Cena is more than my hate for Miz, but the Miz is comedically growing on me. Not as a legit star by any means of the word, but as a comedic relief.
I agree with you. I think his character all relies on his mic skills. He is a talker. He's not a man of action.
Well, he's a damn sure not a legitimate wrestler.
That is correct.
He cannot do anything in that ring.
But he's getting so much better at his mic skills by just introducing what's going on behind the scenes, and I think it's getting better. And you know what's so funny is on this side of the fence, it's so funny to hear you praise Miz, because for the longest time that's one of the people in the wrestling world that you're like, I cannot stand this guy.
Yes,
to
exactly.
hear you say praises, that means you're that Miz is doing something right in his character work.
Right, and I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not a Miz fan, and I told Zach is a Miz fan, and I told him last week not Miz, but I'll admit when wrestlers start to grow on me. One person I do like, though, and I've always liked, is Alexa Bliss. And she is now going against every available female superstar on the roster. She is the best woman wrestler on SmackDown. Hands down, on the mic, amazing. I love it. She's very talented. Natalya on the microphone, oh my God. Natalya on the mic is cringeworthy.
You know what really got me was that bombshell that D-Bry brought up on SmackDown with Bliss, that she's gonna face every single diva on SmackDown. I think it's gonna bring a really cool challenge to Bliss as a performer. That being said, Natalya is fantastic in the ring. Her mic skills, I'm gonna agree with you. I think they're
terrible.
They're pretty bad. They're probably as bad as Nikki.
Yeah.
But my call on that match, as much as I like Alexa, I'm gonna go with Mickey.
Mickie James?
Mickie James, because you know what? On SmackDown, she held she held Bliss's title high. And I think with her veteran status, and I think with her abilities, I think she's completely underestimated. And her way she's kind of sneaking into Bliss and her friendship with her, I think she's a legitimate threat to Bliss's title reign.
Just like Baron Corbin is a threat to Dean Ambrose's Intercontinental title run. You even told me today when we were watching SmackDown, you even forgot Dean Ambrose had the Intercontinental title. It's just another episode in the never-ending saga of the downward spiral of Dean Ambrose. Now, he's destined to lose at WrestleMania. If he wins at WrestleMania against Baron Corbin, I will be thoroughly shocked.
What the sad thing is that I wish there was a circumstance which Dean could like win a Money in the Bank or some sort
He
of.
did.
I wish there was a way for him to legitimize himself.
He needs a reinvention.
He needs something. He needs a change because this PG lunatic. It reminds me of like Bugs Bunny or it's Looney Tunes. It's not the lunatic that we want. It's not the person that we want. We want Shield Dean back.
Yes.
And I think Shield Dean is a legitimate threat. I don't like Baron.
You never liked Baron.
I never liked Baron, but Baron is a legitimate threat because he is this lone wolf, and he shows it week after week after week, and he doesn't give a flying fuck about Dean.
No. He just wants that title, and he's going to get it.
He's going to get it. Step up, Dean.
That brings us to our signature segment, Superstar of the Week.
Give me a hell yeah!
Maggle, who do you got Superstar of the Week for Raw?
Brock Lesnar.
1F5, and he gets Superstar of the Week.
He showed himself as a legitimate threat again.
Interesting.
He came back and he conquered.
I'm going to have to give it to Joe, honestly. I mean, going against a red-hot Chris Jericho in this feud with Owens, the crowd went insane, and then he goes in and he beats Jericho. Mm-hmm. I would have given it to Kevin Owens had he not lost,
It's an interesting pick because even though he came off that win at Fastlane, his win on Raw was a countout, which is not a very legitimate win, which is interesting. But I think you're absolutely right. I think this.
Well, it's Superstar of the Week, not Superstar.
That's true.
Of Raw.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the pay-per-view as well.
Yeah.
So having Joe come off that win against Sami Zayn, fans love Sami Zayn. You absolutely love Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. And to have him go over someone like Sami Zayn, a fan favorite, in such a fashion shows, he's a destroyer, how much of a destroyer he is. And him doing this to Jericho, not only did it save Jericho's character from being hurt, because it was, like you said, a count-out and not a really legitimate win.
Yeah.
It made Jericho's character not as weak and Joe's character still as strong. Moving on to SmackDown. I'm going to give it to Mr. Baron Corbin. The man almost murdered Dean Ambrose by putting a forklift on top of him.
He threw a security guard at him.
He threw another human being. He threw another human being at another human being. It was awesome. Who you got for SmackDown?
I got the Viper, man. I got Randy Orton.
Apex Predator himself.
He is in WrestleMania, and he's going to be facing the champ, Bray Wyatt.
Man, I was admiring Orton and AJ's match. I didn't know that Orton and AJ never faced each other.
It seems inconceivable considering the fact that AJ is this high flyer and Randy is this...
Orton is, 2 heads taller than AJ Styles. It looked crazy, but it worked. It really worked. They put on I hate to sound cliche, but they put on a phenomenal match. Well, that just about does it for us here at the 10 Count Podcast. Tune in next week for an all-new episode. Be sure to like and subscribe to Channel D Productions, and please let us know what you think in the comment section below.
Kyle, hit that bell.